Good morning. Today's video is not about some kind of great adventure or exploring a new place. In fact, my main objective for this morning is actually not to hurt myself. I'm going to have to take it easy today. I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you do and you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe before you go. I haven't actually been out to do photography for a little over 2 weeks, and the main reason for that is that a week and a half ago I hurt my back and I've been in quite a bit of pain. Now it has improved quite a bit over that time, but it's still not great and it still feels rather fragile. So I'm really reluctant to do anything which is going to, if you like, trigger it again. And that means I'm trying to avoid doing, too much driving, too much walking. Climbing up and down hills is a pretty good way to hurt myself, and certainly uneven terrain, even standing, trying to balance on uneven terrain could very well cause my back to relapse, and I just really want to avoid that. So I've just decided to come out onto an easy location, and I've come up. I'm going to go up to the far side of the port because there's a view over there that might work out, and maybe some shots around the marina itself. I've kind of got this idea of maybe doing some stuff with the fisheye lens, but I don't know, I'm open to whatever comes up. We'll see what happens. The other thing that's making it really tough at the moment is the weather. It's very hot. I left home an hour and a quarter before sunrise this morning, and it was already 27.5 degrees and 75% humidity. When that sun comes up, it's going to get hot and uncomfortable very, very quickly. That's why I'm out early in the morning. It's about the only time I feel comfortable coming out. I have set up to do a shot here, and I am using the fisheye lens. I'm overlooking the place called Isleta del Bagnetes, and I'm doing, obviously with the fisheye lens, a very wide angle shot, which basically encompasses some rocky area that I'm standing on, Isleta del Bagnetes itself, and some scene in the background, and of course the sea. The challenge with this at the moment is it's too dark to actually get my composition completely right, I think, because what I want to do is make sure I've got my horizon right the way across the middle of the scene, because that way, even though it's a fisheye lens, the horizon will be dead straight with no distortion. So I don't have to play around correcting that, which I don't like to do if I can avoid it. I don't mind correcting like buildings off in the periphery or verticals off in the periphery. But we'll see. We'll run the exposure. It's going to be probably 3.5 minutes and just see what it looks like. And I think I've got that about right. Obviously having the horizon across the middle of the frame isn't ideal compositionally, but I'm going to crop this 16:9 or maybe even 2:1. a nice kind of tonal thing going on, kind of directly out above Isletta del Bagnets. And what I've decided to do is shoot a more conventional image. I've put my ordinary 11-22 lens on, f8. I've popped on a 3-stop ND to get a 30-second exposure, and we'll see what that looks like. I might bump it up to a minute if that doesn't look long enough. 30-second exposure looks okay, but I'm going to do a 1-minute one as well. So I've just gone to f11, 1-stop difference. That'll let me get a 1-minute exposure. The reason I want to do a longer exposure on it is the sea is pretty boring. It's just kind of ripply. And I often find, if you've got nice waves, shorter exposure to capture texture, movement, the dynamic feel. But if you've got kind of a boring sea, flattening it out with a long exposure often works better. We'll see what this looks like, this 1-minute exposure. Down into the marina now. We are, 7 minutes from official sunrise. And I'd had this idea for another fisheye shot. But as is so often the case when you're doing fisheye, composition is key. Basically the idea I've got is down in front of me there's, I'm actually sort of right on the corner of a part of the pavement, if you like, leading up to the marina. If I put that corner low down in the frame, those straight lines in the corner are going to end up curving. So it's going to be an interesting effect, but I need to have the camera quite low down, because what I don't want is too much water between the end of the corner and where the boats start, because otherwise enough water is going to look nice, too much is going to kind of make a barrier in the scene. So the horizon line is right the way across the middle of the scene. That's going to avoid distortion of the horizon. You can actually see there's a lot of this foreground in here, but this is going to be cropped probably just so there's only, it's just coming in from the corners of the frame. The tripod legs are actually sticking in because of the extreme wide angle. But this is going to be a 16:9 or maybe even a 2:1 crop. Okay, I've taken a couple of shots with that fisheye lens. I'm not entirely convinced. It looks okay, But the scene is just looking too nice. There's actually rays coming up now behind the scene. So I've switched over to the standard 11 to 22, and I'm going to play around with a couple of shots, you know, probably one at like 11 mil, very wide angle, and then maybe zoom in a little bit more and try and get something a little bit more cropped in, just to see what it looks like. It's turning out to be a really pretty morning. Nice reflections, calm water. It's nice, really nice. And my back is only hurting a little bit. Done a bit too much bending, particularly on those fisheye shots. Just pull back a little bit more, just to fit a bit more of the scene in, because those clouds are spreading out and the reflections are spreading out. This is as wide as I can get with the standard lens, and the fisheye is not going to work for this, so. Don't need a long exposure with this at all. Ah, that's pretty. I like that. One a bit more zoomed in. I've gone all the way to 22 mil. That's nice. Just been waiting for the sun to just poke up over the kind of cliff hill over there where the tower is. It's just popping up now, so I'm going to fire off a few shots with the sun in the frame. I don't think we'll get a sun star because there's a bit of haze which is just going to take the clarity out, but you know, it might still look pretty nice. Okay, nice wide shot. Okay, the sun is up, breaking through the clouds, the light's getting quite strong. You've actually got a little bit of a breeze picked up, which is sort of breaking up all the reflections in the water in the marina now, so I think that sort of tranquil feeling has gone off the scene, but fortunately it was around when I was actually taking the photos. It is warm though, even with that little breeze, so I think it's probably time to head for home. My back is just a little bit achy, so hopefully it's going to be okay, and you know, hopefully maybe for the next video or the one after that I can get out and do something a little bit different somewhere else, although the heat at the moment, the heat and the humidity is kind of holding me back a little bit, but we'll see what happens. I hope you've enjoyed this one anyway, and I'm hoping I've got some images worth showing you. If you've enjoyed this video, well, you know the routine. Likes, shares and comments are all really appreciated and really helpful. If you've enjoyed this video and you're new here and you want to see what else I get up to, don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you go. And as always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, so thank you very much. And until the next video, bye.